All right, everyone, buckle up because today we are diving headfirst into the world of digital marketing.
Sounds exciting.
It is. And whether you're trying to impress at your next big marketing meeting or just completely obsessed with this stuff like I am, we are about to uncover some game-changing insights from, well, a treasure trove of information.
A treasure trove. You weren't kidding about having a lot to unpack today.
You know me, always got to come prepared. But seriously, one of the things that immediately jumped out from everything I read is just how different digital marketing is from traditional marketing. I mean, it's like comparing apples and, I don't know, spaceships.
I like where your head's at. It's a whole different ballgame, that's for sure. See, traditional marketing, it was like casting a huge net out there and hoping for the best. But digital marketing, way more targeted. Think of it like using a heat-seeking missile to reach your audience. Precision is key.
Okay, I love that. So no more blindly throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping it sticks. We're in the big leagues now.
That's right.
And speaking of big leagues, your sources dive deep into all the components: SEO, social media, content marketing, paid ads, email marketing. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
Absolutely. And that's because in today's world, you've got to meet your audience where they are. And let's be real, they're all over the place online. Each of these pieces, they play a specific role. It's all about getting those eyes on your brand, keeping them engaged, and ultimately turning them into loyal customers.
Okay, so let's break it down, starting with SEO, which basically means getting your website to show up first on Google.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
You got it. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you scrolled past the first page of Google results?
Never.
Exactly. If you're not on that first page, you might as well not even exist. It's like you can have the most amazing store in the world, but if it's tucked away down some hidden alley, no one's ever going to find it. SEO is about getting that prime real estate, making sure your business is the first one people see.
Okay, that's a visual I can get behind. But it's more than just picking the right keywords, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your sources mentioned something about building authority. What does that even mean in the online world?
It all comes down to trust. You're more likely to go to a shop that's been around for ages, has amazing reviews, everyone's recommending it, right? Google thinks the exact same way, but about websites. You've got to think of it like building an online reputation. You need high quality content, stuff that actually answers people's questions. Your website needs to be easy to use, and you want links from other awesome sites, like endorsements. These are the things Google is looking at to see if you're the real deal.
Got it. So SEO, it's like building a legacy. It's not a quick fix. It takes time.
Exactly. It's a long game, but trust me, it pays off big time.
Okay, so we've got SEO, the marathon runner of digital marketing. But then there's social media, which feels more like a 100-meter dash.
Oh, yeah. Social media is all about instant engagement, meeting your audience right here, right now. But the key, and this is huge, is knowing where your audience hangs out online because there's no point shouting into the void?
That's so true. It'd be like trying to sell, I don't know, vegan burgers at a barbecue festival. You've got to know your crowd.
Exactly. It's about understanding that every social media platform has its own vibe, its own personality. You wouldn't wear a ball gown to a pool party, right? So why would you share the same content on LinkedIn, which is all about business, that you would on Instagram, which is all about aesthetics, right?
Okay, makes sense. Tailor your message to the platform,
Yeah.
I guess to the people on that platform, which, by the way, brings us to content marketing. And honestly, from what I've read, this one seems like a bit of a catch-all term.
It kind of is. We're talking blogs, videos, podcasts like this one, anything that provides value and pulls people in. Think of it like offering free samples at a farmer's market. You're giving them
Yeah.
a little taste to make them hungry for more.
And hopefully they come back and buy the whole pie. So why is this whole content marketing thing so effective in the digital world?
It's all about building trust and relationships, not being pushy with the whole selling thing. It's about consistently showing up, giving your audience valuable info, answering their questions, even entertaining them a little bit. When you do that, people start to see you as like the expert, the go-to in your field.
It's like you're not some random company. You're like that friend who always gives the best advice.
Exactly. And people buy from people they know, they like, they trust. Content marketing helps you build that foundation.
Got it. So building that relationship is key. Okay, we've covered SEO, social media, content. Let's talk paid advertising. Your research kind of painted this as a double-edged sword. What's the deal with that?
It definitely can be. Done right, paid ads, crazy effective. Imagine you're putting your message on a giant digital billboard. But here's the kicker. You can pick and choose exactly who sees it. We're talking specific demographics, interests, you name it.
Okay, so you're not just hoping the right people see it, you're putting it right in their face.
Yes.
But I imagine that kind of precision comes with a hefty price tag, right?
It can, which is why, and I can't stress this enough, strategy is everything. You can't just throw money at it and hope for the best. You got to know who you're trying to reach, what message will resonate with them, and what platforms they're actually using. It's all about maximizing that return on investment.
Don't be stupid, be strategic.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mhm.
All right, last but definitely not least, we have email marketing, the OG of the digital marketing world. What makes email so powerful even after all these years?
Because with email, you've got this direct line to your audience. Think about it. You check your email every single day, right?
It's the first thing I do.
Mine too. It's this personal space where people are actually open to hearing from brands they trust, brands they've invited into their inbox.
You know what, you're right. I'm way more likely to open an email from, like, my favorite clothing store than some random text from a company I've never even heard of.
Exactly. And with email, you can get really creative. You can tailor the message, offer exclusive deals, segment your audience so you're speaking directly to their interests. It all circles back to building that strong relationship over time.
So we've got our SEO foundation, our social media engagement, our content marketing building trust, those strategic paid ads, and our email marketing nurturing relationships. That feels like a pretty solid starting point. But the digital world, it's constantly changing, isn't it? What's next?
Fasten your seatbelts because it's about to get wild.
It feels like every time I refresh my feed, there's some new digital marketing trend I need to know about. AI, short-form video, social commerce, influencer marketing. Did I miss anything?
You got all the big ones. It's a lot, I know, but that's part of the excitement, right? And speaking of exciting, we got to start with AI. There's no denying the impact it's having.
For sure. I mean, I came across articles talking about AI that can write marketing copy. Is that it for us human marketers? Are we
Yeah.
obsolete?
I wouldn't say obsolete. Think of AI more like your superpowered sidekick. It can crunch those massive data sets to personalize customer experiences, take over those tedious tasks nobody wants to do, even brainstorm content ideas. That frees us humans up for the fun stuff, the creative stuff, the strategy.
Okay, so less robot overlords, more robot assistants.
Now you're getting it.
I'm down with that. But speaking of adapting, what about this massive shift towards short-form video? It's like everywhere I look online, it's a sea of TikToks and Reels.
Well, it's attention grabbing, and these days, that's half the battle. We're all glued to our phones, scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You gotta hook people fast, and that's where short form video shines.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah.
It seems like it's not just about being short, though. It's going to be visually interesting, right?
Yeah,
Like, those platforms, they thrive on super eye-catching content.
absolutely. The visuals need to be sharp, editing is snappy, and you gotta have a crystal clear message. It's like storytelling on fast forward, but make it memorable. And never underestimate the power of a catchy sound or some background music that can really make or break a video.
It's like creating those mini-movies,
Yeah.
but they've got to capture attention instantly.
You got it. Now, let's talk about how we go from grabbing attention to, well, grabbing those wallets.
Hit me with it.
Social commerce. Tell me, have you ever, bought something directly through a social media platform?
Who hasn't these days?
Yeah.
It's dangerously convenient. That buy now button gets me every time. But for businesses, why is this such a big deal?
It's all about removing the roadblocks between scrolling and shopping. Instead of making people click over to a website, they can just buy right there in the app.
So it's all about making it as seamless as possible.
Exactly. The experience, it has to be smooth. But there's also a trust factor, right? People are way more likely to buy from a brand they already follow, a brand they actually engage with on social media. Again, it all comes back to those relationships.
And since we're on the subject of relationships, we can't forget influencer marketing, which honestly feels huge right now. But there are so many influencers out there. How do brands even know who to work with?
It's all about finding the right match. Just because an influencer has millions of followers doesn't mean they're the right fit for your brand. Sometimes a micro-influencer, someone with a smaller following but a super engaged audience that aligns with your target market, well, that's way more valuable.
So it's not about chasing after the biggest name. It's about finding someone who genuinely fits with your brand. Authenticity over everything.
100%. Consumers, they can sniff out a fake partnership from a mile away. The best influencer campaigns, they feel genuine, like a friend recommending a product they love.
Okay, I get it. It should feel organic, not forced. So we've talked about some pretty major trends shaping digital marketing, but let's get real for a second. Your research had some really interesting case studies of brands that are just killing it in the digital space. Ready to be inspired.
Always. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's see how these digital marketing principles translate into real-world success stories. Where do you want to start?
Well, Nike's a great example of a brand that took a social stance and created this super powerful campaign that really resonated with their audience.
You're talking about that Dream Crazier campaign with Colin Kaepernick, right? That was a bold move
Yeah.
and sparked quite a bit of controversy.
That was the whole point. They understood that their target audience really cared about social justice issues, and they weren't afraid to align themselves with a cause they believed in. Sure, it ruffled some feathers, but it ended up strengthening their bond with their core customers.
It's amazing how a marketing campaign can go beyond just selling a product. It can spark conversations, ignite passions.
Exactly, it's about taking a stand.
Okay, that was inspiring. Now for something completely different. Your research also highlighted Starbucks and how they've mastered the art of email marketing.
Oh, they are the email kings and queens. I get sucked in by their subject lines every single
Yeah,
time.
me too. What's their secret?
Data, my friend. They use it to personalize everything, from product recommendations based on your past purchases to exclusive discounts just for you, and even early access to new drinks and food items. It makes you feel like a VIP.
It's like they've got a direct line to my brain. It's scary but impressive.
It's about creating that feeling of exclusivity, that you're part of something special,
Yeah,
and that keeps people coming back for more.
makes sense. So these case studies, they show that there's no magic formula, right? Every brand, every campaign, it's about finding what works for them.
You hit the nail on the head. The best digital marketing strategies, they're like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. It all comes down to knowing your audience, staying true to your brand, and achieving those business goals.
Wow, we've covered some serious ground here today. I mean, from the nuts and bolts of SEO all the way to AI and those super savvy brands using digital marketing to make waves.
It's a wild world out there.
It really is, and constantly changing too. But, one thing that really stuck with me from all the research we did, it's the ethics of it all.
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin.
Exactly. We've talked about personalization, targeting, using data to reach the right people. But where do we draw the line? When does it cross over from being helpful to, well, kind of creepy?
It's a question a lot of businesses are wrestling with these days. Think about it. As marketers, we've got this gold mine of data about our customers, but it's up to us to use it responsibly. We have to be transparent, respect people's privacy, not just exploit it for profit.
It's that fine line between creating an amazing personalized experience and being like, hey, we're watching you.
Right. And that balance, that's something we've got to be really mindful of as we venture deeper into the digital marketing jungle.
Well said. This has been an awesome journey. And honestly, you've given me, and I know our listeners too, a lot to think about.
The thinking never stops in this game. Digital marketing, it's all about staying curious, adapting to the changes, and always, always be willing to experiment. You never know what might work.
Music to my ears. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of digital marketing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, stay curious.